This week on Erotic Awakening, 16 Years of Podcasting 2024 Review Retrospective Part 2.
Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, we recommend you stop listening right now.
We want to thank our latest patron supporter,
Amanda.
Thank you so much. Your support keeps us going.
Absolutely. Head over to patreon.com/Erotic Awakening today and get your bonus content and support the show.
Dawn, coming up, we have topics around power exchange, what to do if your power exchange is kind of getting old in the tooth, which is kind of a weird question that we got, but we're going to talk about that. A variety of sexual positions. We've got questions about those and all kinds of other topics as well. But for today, as promised, we are going to wrap up our review of 2024. Last time around, we talked about personal stuff. This time, I think we are talking more about podcast stuff.
Last year was kind of long. And by the way, hi, Dan.
Hi, Dawn. Do we still do that?
Sometimes you don't sleep over in the RV. So
I know.
It's nice to say hi. Anyway, yeah. So you know what? I was writing this list for our show last week, just trying to make a list of all the things that we did last year so that we could do a pretty complete review and blah, blah, blah. And I got tired just making the list like we do. We actually accomplished a few projects last year besides all the traveling in the RV, right? So just a few places. God, do you want me to start at the beginning
Sure.
or just jump in? So last year, at the end of 23, we kind of decided to do more focus on hypnosis, right? So we've done a lot of healing modalities over the years, guided meditations, helping people, stuff like that. And at the end of 23, we decided to do more focus on the hypnosis. So we went to my first, your second, HypnoKink Con. I had never been to a HypnoKink Con. Just like you can have rope cons and things like that, this one was specifically for HypnoKink. And what an amazing experience. So, new experience. That was awesome for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I've been to two of them now, once with you, once with another partner. And I'm glad you had a good time at your Hypnosis Con. I'm glad you had an amazing time, is what you said. I had a good time. But unfortunately, I did walk around with the idea by my second one. I was like, as you and I have done on occasion, going, that's interesting that they do it that way. I think I would do it this way. And I would not be surprised if sometime in the year of 2024, I go ahead and pull the trigger. And
2024 is already passed, sir.
well, then I'm late already. The funny thing is, which you may not know, I've already got a name for this new con, and I've got some ideas about location and finances and who I want to be a presenter.
Fabulous. Bring me on board sometime when you got
And
that
I
all
hope
put
our
together.
listeners noticed the way you said fast or whatever.
Fascinating. Another project.
Yes, because that F sound was a different F sound, I think, at the beginning.
So, but one of the things that I found fascinating about the HypnoCon, now you and I just went to a mainstream hypnosis con in Vegas
Yes.
a couple of weekends ago. And even though that was an experience, the HypnoCon, I learned more hypnosis and ways of doing hypnosis at the HypnoCon than I
HypnoKink
did
one.
the HypnoKink Con
Yes.
than I did at the Hypnosis Con,
Yep,
the
agreed,
mainstream one.
agreed.
That was kind of cool. But yeah, now you got me stuck on wait, what do you have planned? Because listen to what we did in 2024.
Yes, let's stick with that for a moment. We happen
Okay.
to, as if you listen to any of our shows, you always hear where we are going to present. So the fact that we presented at Desert Dominion in Cincinnati and Baltimore, Detroit and Ann Arbor and Columbus and Chicago and Kansas City, in St. Louis and Phoenix and Minnesota in 2024 should not come to a surprise of anyone. And that doesn't include, Dawn, the dozens,
Yeah, dozens.
if not more than dozens, of virtual presentations you've done.
I think I did about 5 to 7 a month all year. So let's say 6 times 12. That's almost 100 classes.
Crazy.
And recorded them and edited them. Not all of them, but recorded most of them, edited them, got them posted on the website. So yeah, all of that's out there as well. We did our hypnosis certifications, which we talked about on the last show. So we got those completed and continue to work on our hypnosis skills with all the resources that we have. We published Lead, Follow, Love with Kevin and Katie after writing it the year before. So that actually got put out there and on the market.
And I have to tell you, listeners, I am really leery about writing any more books at this point. I think this is just a weird Dan thing, but at this point, anything written from now forward is going to be written by AI, or at least greatly assisted by AI, or I'm going to assume it's written by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I agree that the damn thing is amazing, I love having it change some of the, if I'm making a post or I'm just doing some reflecting or if I'm doing some research, AI is amazing. And I'm not going to get into this whole bandwagon of blah, blah, blah. It's taking over the world, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know that I'll be writing any more books.
I would like to get the workbooks done for Polyamory Toolkit and for Hearts and Collars. So I would like to get those done. And we had a couple of books in mind, like Eros Gathering. With I think I have 26 Eros Gathering classes now, so that would make for a fabulous book.
Sure.
But yeah, I understand what you mean. I'm going to be a little hesitant on
We'll
doing
see how
that.
things go. But I am thrilled that we did get, as you said, we published Lead, Follow, Love with Kevin and Katie. It's a fantastic book.
And we republished Living MS.
Absolutely.
Everybody has been asking us about that book, and we're like, well, that was the first 10 years. Hearts and Collars has all of that and 10 more years. And they're like, no, we want Living MS. That's what we grew up on.
Sometimes you just want the classic. So we pulled it, we revised it, and we did release Living MS second edition, and very proud of that one as well.
Indeed. It's got an updated picture of us on there. So that's
Nice
kind of neat
picture,
to see what we look like 20 years later. So lots of projects with Erotic Awakening, with the books, with the whole Dan and Dawn thing, traveling to present in person, Zooms, books. We've done the things. We're on show 720 something.
Speaking of which, and speaking of Kevin and Katie, after knowing them, I don't know, what have we known them for 10 years? And having another 400 shows since we've known them, we finally had them on the show.
We did.
Now we actually have two of them.
I think we had twice on the show. So that's fascinating. And we did some other shows. One was on advanced sadism and then chemical play. We did a show on chemical play, and then you were presenting it for people, and we've had a lot of fun with that one.
Yes, yeah. And it's really funny. That's a great reflection of growth in that we did a show on chemical play many years ago, and it really was just something we were doing because we'd never done it before. And it's only recently in 2024 that I've actually grown interested with it into the extent of really getting into it. And it's been a boatload of fun.
Absolutely. Chemical play was a new class for us. We did more with ordeal rituals, that class. Did more with titty torture. Right? Because we don't usually teach skill classes. We teach brain relationship classes.
Right.
So we got more into the hands-on chemical play and titty torture and things like that, and have had a lot of fun with that. And then we did polyandry with Goddess April.
Absolutely. Something we know. And another topic we don't really. And then we did a polyamory, which of course is something we do know about, but from an economical perspective. And that was an interesting show back with the Laura, which monogamy in this economy, which is a meme you may hear sometime.
Monogamy in this economy.
Thank you for saying it correctly.
Yes, with Laura Boyle. So that was a great conversation. And then becoming a service submissive with Luna of the Submissive Guide. We had her back on as well. And lovely conversation.
And that's just like a highlight of 50 shows that we did, right?
And then wanted to mention that we were trying something new in the RV. So we were at a point, so we've been doing this for almost 4 years, three and a half years, something like that. And we were doing the whole move every 2 weeks sort of thing, but decided to spend some more time with your poly partners and spend a couple of months outside of Chicago. So that was a lot of fun. We experienced things with different groups in Des Moines and Elgin.
Yep.
Elgin.
Elgin
And then
Mushrooms.
there was another munch that was south of that. All I remember is there was a casino. There's a casino in Elgin, and there's a casino in the other place that we also did munches. I want to say Alexandria, but I'm not positive.
No, I would not. But
You would not say
something-
that. So
no.
something like that. That could have been the name of the casino.
Yeah.
And I just think it's the name of the town.
The other interesting thing, and one of the things I want to remember from that time, which doesn't really, probably not significant to anybody else, at that time, I was reducing the amount of coffee I drank. And I was like, well, I'm only going to have one cup of coffee a day, and we're not going to keep coffee in the house. And the weather was perfect for every morning. I got up and I walked to a local coffee shop, got my coffee, and walked back. It was a great way to start the day, great way to reduce coffee. And I got to know the people at the coffee shop. And I'll just have to remember that's something moving forward that I'm going to want to do.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to be a little hard to do because for the next 6 months, we have kind of decided to stay in this area, right? Settle down for a little bit. And that means we're going to have a couple of months of where people are teasing us. I don't think this is real. They're saying it's going to be 120 degrees each day and we're not going to want to go out in the sunshine. But then again, it could be real because when I tell people that we're going to stay here for the summer, they start laughing.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to die. But you're not going to have a place to walk to for coffee.
Unless I want to walk at 2 a.m.
Unless you want to walk at 2 a.m.
If you want to find out if we survived the heat of what we're doing, you can see us in a variety of places like Intrigue in Indy in February.
That's only like next week. That's like next week. And then we have Kinky College in Chicago in March.
Scissortail Leather Conference in June.
And we don't know where else after that because we didn't know what we were going to be doing after March. And now we do, so we can make more plans.
Keep up with all events, book news, and discounts and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter.
And get your EA shout out like Kyle in Missouri.
Head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe today.
So we are saving that topic for next time?
Yep.
Okay, fabulous. And tentacles and food on boobs. You got some
lollipops on nipples and
yonis.
And I got some other as well. I have to make a better note of that, but I can't help but see sugar on pussies without thinking yeast infection.
It's gross. But yeah, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw the lollipop between her thighs. I'm like, no. But I'm sure she was doing it safely and it was hot as fuck. So be a part of the Erotic Awakening podcast community.
You can support us on Patreon to get early access to ad-free version of the podcast, free version of the audiobook Polyamory Toolkit, free ebooks, discounts on monthly Zoom classes, member-only direct Discord access, and more.
Find all the goodies. Oh, I can't even speak now. Find all the goodies at Patreon.
Nobody listens to this part anyway.
Find all the goodies at patreon.com/Erotic Awakening today.
Meow, 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 meow. That is just to prove no one listens to this part. Help others find us. Take a moment to support podcast.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Or just tell your friends.
Join the conversation with us and other listeners. Use the links from the Erotic Awakening website for our growing Discord channel.
Feel free to reach out to us. We love interacting with you.
Contact us with questions, podcast comments, or just to say hi.
We are Dan and Dawn on Fetlife.
And Erotic Awakening on Instagram.
Or just email us at dananddawn@eroticawakening.com.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Dawn.